Hello and welcome to Don't Just Fall Into It, the podcast. Today I'm joined by Iffat Chaudhry and Jenny Rowntree, and we're going to talk about the Lord's Showcase, the Peerless Lord's Showcase. Hi ladies, how are you today?
Oh, the sun's shining. We're in the Shore studio, which is literally 4-minute walk from my office, which is perfect. Really excited about the show.
Good. And Jenny? Jenny, how are you?
I'm loving life, again, the sun is shining, 10 minutes from where I've been working today. So, yeah, all good.
We organised this well today, didn't we? It's very convenient.
For a change.
Very convenient for you both.
And actually, that's a really good point to start on, because we were talking before being on camera about how convenient the location of the Lord's show is.
Yeah, and I think that's really important for people travelling, isn't it? Because it's very accessible. I think it's a venue that people actually want to go and check out. I, for one, hadn't been to Lord's before I went to the Peerless event. So it really helps, doesn't it, to attract the right people and make it nice and accessible.
Yeah, it's not just another conference cube, is it? It's the history of Lord's, the home of cricket. Yeah.
And somehow they always manage to get the weather right.
Always.
Don't they? It always seems to be the sun is switched on like it is today. So it makes for a very pleasant day out, doesn't it?
It's not a day out, it's working. We all work incredibly hard at these shows.
Absolutely. And
a day away from your desk.
Yeah.
It is.
It always is a pleasure to go to Lord's, because my daughter is an avid cricketer, and she always gets really jealous. So it's quite nice to go.
You should bring her along this year.
Maybe this year I will.
Yeah, she should come along and check it out. She'd love to see all of the different stands and all of the different tech. She's quite tech, Jen, isn't she?
Well, I think she'd probably prefer to play the cricket rather than look at the tech. But anyway, maybe that's another story.
Oh,
so
yeah. I mean, I've been to every single one since inception. Have you?
Yeah, I think I have actually, and really seen it evolve in terms of number of exhibitors, and certainly footfall last year was just crazy. Day one, it was busting at the seams, I would say. So yes, it's now become, and you would agree with this, Jenny, we talk about this every year, it's like the main UK event, certainly from our perspective, to attend.
And that's the key.
It just gets everybody.
It does, and that's
all the key people are there.
That's the beauty of those in-person events. It's about the community coming together. And we just don't really get it in other shows, I don't think, not in the same way.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, especially for people like us, we kind of, for the two of us tend to be working from home. So the connections that we tend to have is much more on Zoom or telephone calls, so it's really nice to get out in person and just chat to people.
I feel like the industry comes alive for me because of that. So this might be a bit sad. Other people might not feel quite the same, but to me, it's like
you're in good company.
Yeah, it just, and I guess now that lots of us do work remotely more. Yeah, I just feel like it all comes alive. The phone calls that we're making, the work that we're doing on our computers, sat behind our computers. When we actually get out there and see all of those great friends, some people are friends, like colleagues, all the relationships that we've made, and then the tech and everything else. It's just like, yeah, this is what we do, and it captures it really well in that one. It's a nice boutique show, isn't it?
That's a really good way
in a
to
right
put it.
Space.
Yeah, because it is about they say size doesn't matter. We've all been to ISC, and it's huge, and it's getting bigger. 2 weeks after ISC, I went to Euroshop, which blew my little brain because it was 17 halls. And yes, you can skip halls that are not relevant for you, but it's a big space to cover. So if I had to layer on a show like Euroshop, meetings from one part of the event to another, my days would have just been swallowed up. And it's like that at IFC. We're all running around like headless chickens, really. We don't really get to stop and connect in the way that you do. It's just got the perfect pace, I think, at the Peerless event.
Yeah, we found that, haven't we, Jen? You can just get stuck in that one room then, can't you? Rather than getting stuck in hall 3 of ISE, which is inevitably what usually happens. And then you've also got quite a lot of comings and goings because of the meetings that, you know, I know lots of your clients, Jen, hold big sales meetings there, don't they?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And it's really nice to just catch up with everybody. So potentially some of your customers may have like a meeting there and you get to see everybody all in one space. As you say, with ISE, you're running around at different and bumping into people as you're running from meeting to meeting.
And you just wave at them as you go past.
Exactly. So
Whereas it's a bit more meaningful,
Yeah.
this event. I think it's just a nicer pace.
yeah, I mean, there's various groups of people that are going. So we mentioned there's obviously there's people who are showing their technology. So there's lots of different stands to go and have a look at, lots of different tech. Then there are some of the big integrators who've got teams there where they're bringing like literally their whole sales team for meetings. We've got the Rise AV new cohort.
Oh, exciting.
Who are going to be kicking off there. So 30 new mentees that are going to be kicking off their journey with Rise at Lords. And then also, you know, it's going to be a great introduction to them of many of the new things that they're going to be experiencing within the industry and just, you know, broadening their horizons.
And this year, so last year, Peerless set up their studio area. And this year, you're going to be joining us in the studio.
Yes, joining the legend that is Iffat of the podcast legend. Yes, I'm going to be asking for lots of tips before that. But yes, I'll be doing a live recording at Peerless. And this will be with one of the Rise mentees or more, actually. I'm hoping for more. So we have a bit of a panel so we can talk about their journeys and what they've experienced and how they're seeing, how they're looking at the AV world now that they've been through the process.
I think
so that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, really interesting. And it's one area that as an industry we've never been good at is succession planning. We've just never been good at it. So I love the attention that is coming from initiatives like Rise, but also Navigate as well, that you and I are involved in. Really looking at how we open up the industry for those young people who don't even know that this is out there for them.
There's still a massive issue with that.
Yeah.
And it baffles me sometimes, if I'm honest, that we've got audiovisual all around us and yet you tell anyone what you do for a living and they don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, we don't really know. To be fair.
Oh, it's my party piece. It's my exciting party piece, what I do for a living, and no one knows what I'm talking about. It's really interesting. But we still find that. So it's finding those ways to communicate with people who are maybe finishing their schooling, making those career choices, or coming from other sectors, you know, whether it be veterans or people just looking for a change in career. Why is AV such a good place to be for them? So this is what we'll be exploring. You're trying to showcase really on the podcast, and I think that the Peerless event is a great opportunity to actually, I'm thinking about it, we need to do some kind of video there really to be able to connect that and direct people to look at this is the kind of stuff that happens, you know.
Do you connect with many candidates while you're there?
Probably not so much, really. I think, especially in a small show, candidates are a bit reluctant.
They'll avoid you, Jenny.
Yeah.
Don't be seen. Don't be seen talking to Jenny or Denise. Not in sight of your boss.
Yeah, and actually, it's silly because actually, whether candidates, clients, or people who we know, it's just really good to connect. And if you are looking for a job and you have spoken to me, please just come and say hello. I'm not going to sit there and go, this person's looking for a job. You know, it's just really nice to connect. And I think I've been in the industry too many years to mention, really. So I think I know a lot of people, and it's nice to just chat. I
think, I love a bit of networking, and I think it's really important to do for your visibility, the connection, the visibility in the industry, And whether you're looking for a job through, through a specialist agency, actually, it's good to go to these events if you can, because other opportunities present themselves. And whilst, yes, we're doing that work in recruitment, actually, we also promote to a lot of people about the benefits of going out and making connections. And you're a case in point, Iffat, aren't you? From going to the show and something really positive coming out of it for you last year.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be in my current employment if you hadn't told me that I must go, firstly. So, yeah, absolutely. That encouragement that you get. We were talking before about allyship as well, and allyship isn't something that's so clear cut. It comes in so many different forms, and just knowing that somebody's got your back, or someone can give you some words of encouragement that comes from your network, that's over and above what they need to do. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have dreamt of the job that I've got now, really. So,
and that happened just from bumping. That's okay. Well,
that you placed
it
me,
wasn't true.
Yeah,
we didn't.
Sorry.
Yeah, we didn't place you. We're still friends. It just shows that we don't bear any grudges from anyone who finds their own job.
But it just, had I not, because I had a lot of other things going on, and I think I said to Denise, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to go this year. I'm not sure." And what do you mean you're not going to go? So, and had I not gone, I wouldn't have had that initial conversation with Ross, who's now Ross, my boss.
Yeah, and you knew Ross, right? So
I did,
but you bumped into him there.
No, it's
and
about
a
your
chance
network
conversation. Yeah. And I think that's really crucial at this particular time that we're in, especially.
We're in a weird time at the moment.
We are in a weird time at the moment, and we've got a market with lots of candidates in it, not necessarily enough jobs. And there is a statistic that says about 80% of jobs don't actually make it to being advertised. So there's a hidden jobs market, and these are the kind of places
literally is, and sometimes
you can find them.
Yeah, sometimes it is those conversations, and I'm sure you would have had it, where you're just talking to someone and they're telling you what they're working on, or something comes through from them, and you think, do you know what? You should talk to so and so because you'd be a really good fit. And I know that's how you the consultative side of your roles. I know that you nurture that as well. So it's not necessarily that a job exists, but sometimes just by talking about what you do and what your aspirations are, there are plenty of people who are still looking for their next move. And it's, again, the current climate makes people nervous. I mean, I know a few people who are thinking, I've been in my current job for 3 years, 4 years. I really should be thinking of moving, but I don't know. I don't want to be last in anywhere. But if it's the right job, that's not a problem. It's finding your right home.
Yeah, and going to Peerless, you get a chance to talk to lots of people all in one place. You get a bit of a barometer. We take it also as a bit of a barometer on the mood, the mood.
Yeah.
What's happening? How are people doing? How's the year going? And being able to capture lots of people in one place. As you say, Jenny, about the candidates avoiding you, let's face it, often clients don't want to talk to us unless they need us. Yeah. So being able to, and I guess this works the same for many people, being able to capture individuals in one place where they're really accessible, to be able to just pop over and tap them on the shoulder and say hello, even if they've been avoiding you. They can't get away then, can they? No. But in all seriousness, there's a lot of good conversations get had, and you come away with a lot of information on various things that are going on in the market, or roles, or whatever it is.
What roles are you seeing are taking longer to fill at the moment? Because it always used to be the engineers and the tech roles. I don't know if it is anymore, is it?
I think there is still very much the engineers are still out there, but the biggest ones that we tend to see at the moment is new business sales roles. And it is difficult because there's not a lot of people who want to go out and develop new business sales, very much account management, sort of people are on the market, but new business. That's our biggest challenge.
Yeah, we've had a lot of new business roles come in lately. And as you say, Jen, it's a discipline, new logo wins from scratch, or, leveraging a contact network. It's not what everybody is skilled at doing. It's a smaller pool of people for sure.
Yeah.
So there's the challenge. I mean, the good news is that despite the difficulties that we're seeing economically, there is hiring activity going on. There's a reasonable amount of hiring activity going on, and pockets of optimism. So that's a good sign. But yes, it's just finding the right people at the moment. As you mentioned, there's the caution. Do I make this move now? The good news is there's great opportunities to move to if you do want to make a move. And certainly if you're a new business development manager, you're never going to be short of work.
It's interesting though, because I think someone was saying to me the other day that they were thinking of moving, and that are employers getting better at tying people into not taking their customers with them? Because it used to be a thing of, you can't contact for this length of time, and everyone just roll their eyes and move on. Because there is this kind of expectation that if you're moving somewhere, you're going to take your clients with you.
I think there is that. There certainly is still that expectation. You will certainly. People do want to take people on, and them have
a ready-made
black book of people that they can bring along with them. And yes, I think a lot of companies have got non-compete clauses in their contracts, but reality is, I think, and this is where I might get myself in trouble, unless you've got an exclusive agreement with a company, I think it's very difficult to enforce.
Yeah.
So if, for example, you're dealing with, let's say Sure, because we're in the Sure podcast room, Sure obviously have lots and lots of people that they deal with. So can you actually say it's an exclusive? Probably not.
Yeah, because, I mean, this person I'm thinking of, I'm not going to name names, has a couple of really good accounts and doesn't want to leave the accounts, but wants to leave the company. And is worried about the non-compete and all of that. I think if people if people follow you, and they follow you,
exactly. And you aren't seen to be soliciting them. I think that's an angle. So if customers genuinely just follow somebody to their next place of employment, and some of it comes from the company that you go to, their appetite for, whether there's any, potential legal pitfalls.
And employers, be nicer to your people, and they won't want to leave.
Exactly. But we see a lot of. I think one thing that covers this off quite a lot now is there are a lot of 3-month notice periods.
Yeah, there are.
So by the time you've done that, actually, some of your network's not so warm if you've been put on gardening leave as such. Yeah. But to be fair, though, if you've got strong relationships, again, they're going to wait for you still, aren't they?
Yeah.
But there's definitely more 3 months notice periods around, which then puts in delays to these hires and the time it takes to hire. But we like to go and see the tech, don't we, as well? Being again sat behind our laptop screens and talking to all the people, it's good to go and see the tech. And I know that we were chatting to Keith earlier, weren't we? He was saying about what they've got going on. And the focus, I believe, on day one, Ben's going to go through the trends from ISE.
Yep.
So, and then there's
some
AI
nice content.
Yeah. And then he's running a panel, isn't he, on AI and some real life AI workshop examples, I believe.
They've got Nikki Chapman talking as well. And then day 2
she's Microsoft, isn't she, Nikki Chapman? Yeah.
And then day 2 is going to kickstart with sustainability. So the wonderful Dave Allen's going to lead on that, as he should. And then we're going to go into a bit of retail, which is going to be led by Adrian Cottrell, and I'll probably put 2p in there. As I now get paid to go shopping.
We love that. Are you on the panel? Are you on the panel?
I'm doing something or other.
Are you? Okay, brilliant.
Who knows? Adrian's in charge.
Brilliant.
probably shouldn't put me and Adrian together. We've already had an hour together.
Have you?
So, yeah, and I actually found
Fantastic.
myself agreeing with him, which is a real rare occurrence. But he welcomes an argument and a debate, and it's good, right? It's good to talk. It's good to get... You don't want to go and listen to people talking who are all saying the same thing and agreeing, and it's quite nice to
get
mix
different
it up.
perspectives.
And,
yeah. And then, of course, we've got the networking, which is the end of day one.
Yeah.
So everybody will be getting together after the event, all the sponsors and all the exhibitors. And that is usually quite fun, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, and I think this year it's not something that I've talked about before, but obviously exerters have always played a huge role in previous years at this event. And obviously we've seen a lot of colleagues from exerters, that whole AV arm being disbanded, and we've seen a lot of, it's really nice to see a lot will still be there, but with another badge.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to address that elephant in the room, that actually this is real life, and this is what, the hard side of business, and seeing so many people go through that uncertainty. I think we all know people, and we know people where it's couples as well, right? Where both of them, both incomes into the household were suddenly put into question. And it's great to see so many people get their jobs, and they're starting, so those messages are starting to come out on LinkedIn, and it's great. So I'm looking forward to catching up with some of those people.
And I think this is where the power of the AV industry and the nature of the AV industry really shows up. When things like this happen, and they do, don't they? I mean, this has been particularly extreme.
It's harsh.
It's particularly extreme in terms of the volumes of people. But when these things happen, and I would say from my perspective, there's been a steady stream of redundancies for like the last 18 months.
Yeah.
Not in that volume, obviously, but a steady stream. It's been reshaping significantly. And, the way that the industry sets up to support people, and, I that gives me comfort in the times where things can appear quite bleak. And I think we've all felt pretty bleak about that exerted situation, because it's not something that anyone in the industry wants to see.
No.
But like you say, we bumped into someone earlier, Jenny, didn't we, when we were over at the Neat Studio and Experience Centre. And, she's delighted. She's found a new role. Lots of her colleagues have. And yes, there's some good news coming out now.
Yep.
So, I think we will see lots of familiar faces, but just in different places.
Yeah. And it's important to remember that. And I think just, do what we do best. We keep our eyes and ears open, and then we say, have you spoken to Jenny? Have you spoken to Dee? Have you?
Yeah. And as we mentioned, like the power of using the rest of your network as well, and coming along to Peerless, and we'll all be there
And learn
lots of I'm trying to think of the right word to use for us all that have been in the industry a long time.
Well, the collective noun for AV people.
Collective noun for AV people who've been in the
gaggle
industry
of
a long
AV
time.
people. I think a gaggle.
Yeah, that sounds quite good. But there'll be a gaggle, and of course, I'm excited to see the new people that I don't know.
Yeah.
The new talent that's there, the people that weren't there last year. The Rise bunch, and all of the enthusiasm that they're all going to have.
Yeah, it's a different energy
kicking off
when you see them all together.
Yeah, it's good. It's
Really,
going to
really
be really good. And as you mentioned, Navigate. Rachel's going to be there, flying the flag for Navigate, which is really going to be taking off soon as a hub for new talent to be able to go to. That's going to sort of glue together all of the different activities that are going on within the AV industry, and provide a place that somebody can go to find career opportunities within AV.
Yeah. And really with Navigate, we're trying to target really the school age. So we're looking at Key Stage 3 upwards.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the candidates that might come through in the future. It's also giving those assurances to parents, carers, school careers advisors, So anyone listening who's involved with anything like that, just reach out and see how we might be able to help.
Yeah, absolutely. It started going grassroots, isn't it? Really, that's where it's targeting.
Yeah.
So, let me ask you, what are you most looking forward to, Jenny, about the Peerless AV Showcase?
Well, it's just getting an opportunity to get out and see people, really, and chat, see what's happening in the market.
And Iffat, what
I
are you
think-
looking forward to?
I mean, I've done the studio last year as well, and obviously that is going to be great. But I'm really excited about the focus that the Peerless team are giving to the retail side of things, because obviously as a business we do plenty of work with Peerless, but to be able to, but retail is undergoing there's a lot going on in retail that people might not be aware of. So it's going to be good.
Good, good. Well, thank you for your opinions and thank you for your time
Thank you.
today. Thanks, ladies.